What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and you've often heard me talk about how words matter, and they do. They actually do. The definitions of words matter. And what we've witnessed here over the past couple of years is a modern rewriting of history. If you want to call somebody one of the bad guys from WW2, go ahead. You know, the actual historical significance of that word is irrelevant, not when your feelings are involved. You know, you want to say you're an androgynous tree person and then impose your will upon anyone who perhaps thinks you're a little insane by getting them banned off social media and fired from their jobs. Go ahead, because, well, your feelings are involved. And now we have corruption at essentially the highest possible level. That is the literal dictionary now weighing in on new woke ideology garbage. This after a quick word from this video's sponsor. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor, Established Titles. Established Titles is a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. They allow people to buy as little as 1 square foot of dedicated land so they can call themselves a lord or a lady officially. In return, they commit to plant a tree with every order and protect the beautiful, pristine woodlands of Scotland. Established Titles makes an absolutely amazing gift, and a person could officially get their name changed on documents. Their title pack gives you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land on a private estate and an official certificate with a crest. Established Titles is currently having a really big sale just for you, my subscribers. You can get an additional 10% off any purchase you make with the discount code TheQuartering. So click the link below. Go to establishedtitles.com/thequartering and use promo code TheQuartering to save an extra 10% today. We often talked about, people weaponizing their ideology to protect the fact that they're largely irrelevant, unspecial, and failures. So they define themselves as this one thing. And if you don't agree with it, well, then you, my friend, are going to suffer their wrath, because they are as powerless in real life as they actually are online. But they can scrap just a little nugget of power by maybe getting you to get suspended because you don't partake in their own form of mental illness. Well, now at the highest institutions, we have Merriam-Webster. As reported Matt Walsh posts, it was bound to happen. Merriam-Webster has changed its dictionary definition of female to appease trans activists. Definition of female, entry 1 of 2. Of or relating to being, bear children or produce eggs. Makes sense, right? Now they've added 1B, an alternate definition, having a gender identity that is opposite of male. What? Opposite of male just makes you a female. We've reached peak insanity. We've reached what Babylon Bee could only have memed. They also changed the definition of girl. Noun. A female child from birth to adulthood. Definition 2. A person whose gender identity is female. Gender identity is made up. It's not a real thing. You can say, and I've always said on this channel, that you are 100% welcome to identify as whatever, and as long as you're not infringing on anyone else's rights, well, more power to you, live your best life. But as I've seen recently over the past couple of weeks, by getting into it with what can only be described one of the biggest losers online, they weaponized their transness to email every single one of my sponsors trying to get me dropped. Of course, they failed miserably in their effort to do that, just like their failure in real life. But this is the kind of stuff that gets sent to sponsors. So they'll send things, archive tweets, and then this and say, well, the person that you are sponsoring is not using the approved Merriam-Webster dictionary definition. Merriam-Webster even backs up my own delusions. And by the way, why stop Why stop with male and female? Why not just, why is the word mean anything? Why does girl or woman have a definition? Because it doesn't. In fact, it's so perfectly encapsulated by this Babylon Bee article. Merriam-Webster replaces definition of woman with shrug emoji. By the way, this was written a month ago. They essentially predicted this precisely. U.S. no longer able to keep up with the endlessly fluid definition of the word woman, Merriam-Webster has elected to replace the traditional definition of adult female person with a more open-ended shrug emoji. For goodness sake, it's 2022, the company president said. Who uses words anymore anyway? Do words even mean anything? Not anymore. By defining words with a shrug emoji, we allow the political party in power to define these words as they see fit. Progress. And quite frankly, that's exactly the case, isn't it? You may have like a Republican in office or something of that nature, but ultimately, the establishment media defines what's offensive, what's the truth, what matters, and that's all far left leaning. You have Fox News, of course, on the right, but that's about it. All the late night shows, all the people that run big tech, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, they all define what's offensive these days, and they define what words mean. Twitter has allowed 0.001% of the population to wield this power over the other 99.9999% of the population by banning people if you even accidentally use the wrong identity when talking about somebody. According to Merriam-Webster, the word woman is just the first of many new emoji-based definitions in the works. Starting next month, for example, drag queen will be defined as nothing but a heart emoji, while the word grooming will be defined with beautiful multicolored pride flag emoji. Experts hope that this is just the beginning of the dictionary modernization efforts to define words using pictures, grunts, and primal screeches until the entire human race is embroiled in a delightful stew of bubbling tolerance. This was written a month ago as satire. This was written yesterday as fact. Merriam-Webster's female definition now includes a nod to gender identity. The dictionary, often treated as an authoritative source when it comes to the modern definitions, added to its online definition of female that the word can mean, quote, having a gender identity that is opposite of male. And look, I can't tell you how clear I can only be so clear on this. I don't care if you identify as this, that, or the other thing. It doesn't change the word's definition. Hot still means hot. You can't say an iron that's at max heat suddenly identifies as cold and then press it up against your face because the dictionary said so. The popular account Libs of TikTok also pointed out that the online dictionary has changed its definition of the word girl by adding a second meaning that says a person whose gender identity is female. To verify it had changed, Libs of TikTok posted a screenshot of web archive from July 26, 2021 that showed the secondary definition was completely absent. Defining womanhood has been a moving target for certain institutional actors. During a Senate committee hearing on this deletion of little kids, University of California, Berkeley law professor Kiara Bridges had a sharp exchange with Senator Josh Hawley, Missouri Republican, over her use of the phrase people with the capacity for pregnancy. When Mr. Hawley asked Ms. Bridges if she was referring to women, Ms. Bridges says that some women can't get pregnant, just as there are some trans men and non-binary people who can get pregnant. After pressed again, Ms. Bridges accused Hawley of phobia and that he opens up trans people to bad behavior. This is how insanity gets codified. Okay, they use this terminology to shut down anybody who might disagree with them. For example, when I got an internet spat with that irrelevant nobody who thought they had all sorts of power over me, their viewers and stuff were flagging me. They were pushing fabricated tweets. And anytime I criticize them, it's like, oh, well, I'm trans. You can't do that. You know, these people don't do any good for society. They're not pushing anything forward. I was trying to find the tweet that I had the other week. It was an NBC News thing that referred to women as birthing people. Birthing people. No. You are not a birthing person. You are a woman. Men cannot give birth. You know, I suppose unless they go through some crazy surgeries. But, you know, the birthing people thing is another like a slippery slope of how media and like the establishment liberal media is trying to make us use their words. It's insane. I guess I can't find it. I suppose I could do birthing people, a search. But like here you have Tulsi Gabbard talking about it. You know, they're happy to erase women. This is the same thing as, you know, the attack on women's sports. You know, biological men coming in and absolutely destroying biological females. Why? Is this progress? It sure doesn't feel like it. This stuff is happening. It's boiling the frog slowly. Each change is tiny and insignificant so that they can call you crazy when you point it out. But this has been going on for years, and it's happening right in front of us. People need to wake up and push back against this. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.